Medicine. I'm your host, Dr. Moshe Lewis. I'm excited. I'm so ecstatic and delighted to be joined by Damion Hall. You know him from Guy. You've seen his solo album. You know his work, his acting. I mean, and then we definitely got to get into 50 and Fit as well, because the show touches on a little bit about music and certainly medicine. You're looking great. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Pleasure to be here, man.
Yeah. So I was talking about some of the common denominators, like starting off with Brooklyn and growing up there. Just tell us a little bit about the Hall household and kind of growing up in the church and what that was like.
Well, my dad was an amazing father. Number one, he worked hard. He worked all the time to keep a roof over our head and make sure that we had food to eat and things were good for us. So being in Brooklyn, in the projects, grew up in the projects in Brownsville. I saw the hard work that he put in to make sure that his three kids, myself, my brother Aaron Hall, and my older brother Todd Hall, were taking care of the best that he could during that time.
Right, right.
And he taught us how to have respect and to understand what chores meant
Right,
and
yeah.
what it was to understand what a young man is supposed to be and how he's supposed to act. And I love him for that. And being from Brooklyn, you know, you also learn a different way of life. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like people in New York in general, especially during that time, um, it's a very straight to the point type of personality, very stern. What you see is what you get, what you hear is what it is, like it or not, right? And
Right.
it is. I think that mentality has become a part of me even in adulthood. But if it wasn't for my dad during that time paving the way and molding us, I wouldn't be the person I am today.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. Tell us about this transition from gospel to R&B. Were there some people that you looked up to, whether the gospel greats or some of the secular artists at that time, that really kind of inspired your sound, inspired you to keep on singing and putting out that great sound, or developing it at least?
Well, the development came from, you know, church. Of course, everybody that know me and Aaron and my brother Todd, you know, we was known as the Hall brothers.
Right.
And King's Temple Church of God in Christ in Hempstead, New York was where we come from. Pastor King, we were molded there as busy bees, and then Benny Cummins and in the King's Temple Choir, which was probably the number one. He was the first Hezekiah Walker type tribute. Um, you know, it wouldn't be them if it wasn't for Benny Cummins. And
Right.
so, you know, for us singing gospel, I loved the Winans, but who didn't, right? Um, I love Marvin. During that time, everybody wanted to be Marvin Winans. Question is, will I ever leave you? The answer is no. And we always wanted to be him. You know what I'm saying? And another person I loved dearly was Donny Hathaway.
Yeah.
So for me, it was Marvin Winans and Donny Hathaway that molded my tone
Right.
when I really sing, and like how I in my tone. It was those two, and I thank him for it, you know. And watching my brother Aaron sneak and listen to Stevie Wonder and Charlie Wilson and the Gap Band, you know, those were his inspirations. And so, you know, I think without that church grind and that seed of church, I really don't think me and Aaron would be the singers that people enjoy us being to this day. Because there's something about, and you hear it in Fantasia and Faith Evans and, you know, Kelly Price, and I can go on and on. You hear it in certain voices that of people you knew grew up in church, because they have a certain tone and a certain riff ability in their stuff. So for me, church is still, it is my core because I grew up in it. You know, my dad made us go to, you know, Wednesday Bible study and all night prayers, like all night. You know, just like what are we doing here all night praying? And then we had midnight musicals, right? Washington Temple,
Yes.
King's Temple. We went everywhere for music, midnight musicals, and we learned the art of musicianship mixed with singing and the vibe and the swag of what everybody was bringing to how they projected the vocal and the different kind of tricks that we did when we was being directed and the different uh, octaves and tones and stuff that were embedded within us. So yeah, if it wasn't for church, there definitely would be me. If it wasn't for Marvin and Donny Hathaway, I probably wouldn't want to be singing.
Absolutely. Now, you wound up going sort of on in school. Were you aware of some of the things your brother was doing at that time? Were you guys sort of trying to make a transition out, or you were like, no, I'm focused on my studies right now, and I know my brother's, you know, still you're out there singing with different people and things like that, but I'm about getting my studies done.
Yeah, I was about school because you know I was the first person in my family to go to college. So in that aspect, I wanted to make my dad and my mom proud. That's really what the long and the short of that was, right? Like, okay, let me go. While I was in school, Aaron has always been a voice and always been a church voice that everybody around New York knew. You know, Aaron Hall is here. I mean, you know, a lot of that happened with Hezekiah Walker,
Yeah.
and him going all around the city with him. Um, and I was very happy to hear that people were really into my brother. You know what I mean? For me, I wanted to be a businessman and a martial artist and be a great uh, economist, like just really go hard in business. And then Aaron came to my school and was like, "Yo, I'm about to be famous. I need you." I was like, "What? What are you talking about? You're about to be famous. You need me. I'm about to be famous. I need you. Let's go." And I was like, "What? Let me call dad." And right before finals, I called my dad and I said, "Dad, Aaron said he needs me. He wants to be famous. Is it cool if I go and help him?" He's like, "Do what you want." And I was shocked when he said that. And because I love my brother, I literally left school right before finals and went back to New York and met my brother and Teddy in the studio and signed a contract and started the beginning to the end of my life. It was cool though.
Get into that. So along those notes, so I want to touch on a couple of points because we're almost like well into your teen years now. Let's talk a little bit about your mom. I know you didn't grow up with her, but it seems like there were some challenges there with respect to just dealing with the circumstances of her passing.
Well, it's so funny you would say that. I just spoke about that this morning. And I got very emotional about it because my mom did not raise me at all. My dad raised me, but my dad brought us around my mom who lived in the Bronx. And in that time frame, we were taking care of her. He would go there like maybe every weekend or every other weekend, and we would go there and we would go to my grandmother's house and straighten up and clean up and do things and bring clothes and this and the other. And I realized that my dad had a blessed heart. You know what I mean? He loved her unconditionally, and you know, as a child, you see that. I think that's why I became OCD. It's like, you know, he wanted my mom to be happy, though he wasn't with my mom. He was still with my mom in his heart. You know what I'm saying? And when my mom died on Christmas Day of '87, that Thanksgiving of the same year, we had a very serious son mother. Matter of fact, the only son mother, I mean, son mother conversation that we had in my life. And it changed my whole life to this day because it's because of her I hustle and I strive and I stay focused on family and on the journey that God put me on to be able to help children and children's children, not just mine, but everyone's around the world. Like we need to give them a foundation where they have hope
Yes.
and understanding. So my mom's death affected me, and it still affects me 30 some odd years later. Um, I haven't released it. And because and I'll say this with you, I haven't released it. If I release that, then I feel I would become a little bit more vulnerable to the things that I do not like. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
It holds me from being quote unquote human. It's like normally people get upset when somebody say something crazy to them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need you, da da da, you know, who do you think you are? And normally a person would be like, who are you talking to? Da da da. I go, you know what? It's fine. I realize that you're falling short right now. And I think you need to reevaluate what it is you're saying, because it's not every day you find somebody that cares about you. So I always go about it that way. And that's because of my mom. It's nothing for anything else. It's because of the conversation we had when I was 17 that still hits me today. And she said, once you get to your point that God has put you on, this was at 17, and you reach that point, I need you to release. I never forget that. And she was even that, you know, that's a month before her death. I need you to release. And now I get it, you know, and I won't release her until I'm finished and I'm right at the door of that, where I can finally go to her gravesite, because I haven't done that. Go to her gravesite, bow down, speak to her one last time and tell her thank you. And I understand. But really thank her for me being the man that I am. Because she gave me the focus, period.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, such a beautiful tribute, and the depth and your father's influence as well speak not only just your years, but the wisdom you've developed over time. And that's just a beautiful way. It's just amazing that literally we didn't run into each other. My mom in the Bronx, that's where I was born, but I lived in Brooklyn, all the churches that you mentioned, and then some. We were just talking to some of Hezekiah's songwriters just last year and stuff like that, kind of me reminiscing over the times we were there. And so,
Yes,
yeah, that sense of sort of abandonment and yet still fulfillment, because were it not for God over your life, you would not be where you are, but yet and still some of those winds are very strong storms and really
absolutely.
come through our life and can definitely change us. And in this case, you've really taken those positive elements. It's so we're going to touch on some of them as well. A mediator, the person that always brings the group back together. The person that's always saying, "Hey, let's talk about the work. Let's get back together and go bowling.
Right, right,
Let's move on past the petty." On that note, what were your interactions, if any, with Gene initially, and Timmy? What did you sort of sense had transpired or suspect at that time when you came from school to join your brother in New York?
Well, by the time I came from school and joined Aaron, Timmy was gone. And I was introduced to Gene, and I realized Gene was a very strong alpha male, very my way or no way, very immediate. Let's do it now, or you're going to lose out on something. And he was good at getting the control of minds that didn't really pay attention to the agenda. You know what I'm saying? And so, because of the love of my brother, and I tell people this, and I've said this story numerous times, because of the love of my brother, I just went with it. Right? I'm a person that thinks about everything before I do it. But because of the love of my brother, I did not think, let me get this contract checked first, then sign it, make sure this. I signed it, then got it checked. So I went backwards. So don't do that, people. Don't do backwards stuff. I signed it, then went to my attorney, showed him, and he said, "Please tell me you didn't sign it." I said, "I signed it." He said, "Oh Lord," because it was 9 pages. It came back 30 something pages thick once you understood the wording and he dissected the wording. And he said, "You know, you really don't have to get paid. You're really not an artist. don't deserve this. You won't get no publishing. You won't get. I said, whoa, and you're a worker, bro. You know what I'm saying? To be honest and truthful, you're a worker. And my brother so wanted this for his life. I chose to stay and grind with him and Teddy. Um, like I said, Timmy was never a bad guy to me. I knew Timmy when Aaron and Timmy were working at Abraham and Strauss. And I met Timmy, and Timmy was cool, well dressed, well mannered, very clean, you know, always manicured up. And Timmy, I mean, to this day, he probably still the same way. I can't see him being any different. Might have put on some weight or something, but at the end of the day, he was a very cool cat. And I think it's his influence that got Aaron interested in being in a group, and let alone being the lead singer of a group. And it is because of Timmy introducing Teddy, who Timmy was already associated with, to Aaron, that Teddy got in the group. People think that Teddy found Aaron and found Timmy and put Guy together. That is not the story. That is fable. But it's fine if you whatever you believe in the story. You know, when you pump a story enough, it's like the news. Pump the story enough, you believe it. But it's not a bad thing. You know, we grow up, we choose our situations. But Aaron and Timmy started Guy. Timmy left, and the brother came in and really put that oomph into it. You know what I'm saying? And brought that energy and a different type of swag, and also a different type of closeness, because you had blood brothers in the group. So I understood Aaron better than Timmy would ever understand Aaron. And Aaron ended up loving Teddy and understanding Teddy, where Teddy felt secure enough to embrace Aaron into the gifts that he had. And I think those two together, vibing with each other and understanding each other, is what brought forth that New Jack Swing Guy sound, right? And people always say, Damion, but you know, you contributed so much. I said, no, I wasn't there in the beginning. You know, the beginning, I wasn't there. I came straight in. I never tap danced for no executive, never had to sing for nobody. And just got into a situation that was contractually messed up from the beginning. There was nothing good about the contract, but at the end of the day, it's like, go on the journey.
Right.
Let's go on the journey. So, you know, Timmy had his life. You know, thank God Damion came in, because as y'all know, you know, that super swag, you know, with all three of us, it just united something very different in all three of us, that, you know, when you see us all three together, it's like Voltron. Like we really, it's a whole different type of energy. It's a whole different type of vibe and strength and power of the united gifts that make the GUI so great.
Absolutely. Speaking of that contract, just to put the nail on the head, did you ever suspect or find out that Timmy would not sign that contract, and that's exactly what happened? That's why he, you know, quote unquote, left the group. He refused to sign that same contract that you signed.
I'm quite sure that it was something like that. I mean, look, if I was him and he really wanted to do some good business, because I say this all the time, Timmy is the only one with the Guy stuff with the publishing that still gets all his publishing. Timmy was not stupid. You know what I'm saying? And so, regardless, I wasn't around for the arguments or the get outs, you know, you're not part of this group no more. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't, but Timmy, I'm quite sure he said, oh, I'm not signing this garbage. Are you nuts? And so Gene, being Gene, probably said, well, guess what? You're not in the group no more. Get out. And Timmy was like, well, okay, but I guarantee you I'll get my publisher. So he had probably had his attorney make sure everything was straight with him. And he walked away, or, you know, had his head down going away. I don't know. I wasn't there when the actual kick out happened. But neither here or there, whether he walked out, whether he bowed out, whether he got kicked out, it doesn't matter. He's still a man today, and he's still getting paid today. And Guy, in its ups and downs and all this turmoil, still were capable of touching souls on the first album. But again, Timmy is is the first album with Aaron and Teddy. You know what I mean? It's not Damion. So I don't take that. But when you come down to the visual, and when you started seeing the visual and the get down, that's when Damion brought that to the group, or that extra thing that Timmy couldn't bring to the group.
What's a song that helps memorialize for you that first album? Like you said, you may not have been, on the writing and producing credits, but that you really are like, this is signature, and I put my oomph in this song.
It's I like. There's something about that song that when you it's like Groove Me. I like is Groove Me and Spend the Night to me all wrapped into one for me, right? It's that you still my reality each and every it does something, and then you hear the groove. So me being a drummer, me wanting to do the percussions and dance and move and still give you that, it gives me a feeling like I never felt like I wasn't a part of it, though I wasn't in the making. I was in the studio when they did some stuff, but I never thought I was a part of it, because being a drummer, I related to the music, to the beat, to the vibe, to the strength of it, to the kicks, to the snares. I was like, ugh, this is ugly. I didn't even know what ugly was. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this is ugly. We gonna kill. Who knew? I just know what beats felt like from church, and from Joe Haywood playing, and Stanley on the thing, and that groove was there. So I'm like, there is no way, because no one is doing this. This is Gap Band on steroids. You know what I'm saying? This is what I felt on it, and so I don't like. I'm ecstatic. I wouldn't turn the tables at all and say, oh, I wish I didn't do this. I don't have that at all. Yes, I wish business was done better. We'd be on a whole different level, because we did something when no social media, no computer, no this. We did something that other groups just did not do, outside of what New Edition, but I put New Edition as up here. Like they were the gods of groups during that time, right? Before, after Temptation and Four Tops, and it was New Edition. Like, what? So they were up here. Then when Guy came, we kind of gave a whole different vibe. And we were grown folks, street, church, gutty. We were the group that can touch people from the hood and people in the church, people in Washington. No group was doing that. No group was doing that. And we had the style, the swag, and everything. So I thank Gene for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thank Gene for that, because I don't knock him. God bless his soul. Because we had a conversation before his death. And I understand that certain people, certain things you do, you're doing it because you don't know any better. Not particularly because you want to hurt the people that's making you money. It's just that you don't know any better. So, I don't have those grudges, because money comes and go. Money comes and go. We all know that. And if you're smart enough to use this, you can get money back in droves. So I never really worried about that. But I'll stop, because
I love it. I want to pick up on that musical note that you touched on. New Jack Swing, what does it mean to you? We've heard it from a lot of the greats, but you're one of them, and you were there, and the largest group, like you said, at the time, to usher in this new sound. Keith had obviously helped open that door, and a couple of other artists, but you all ushered in an entire genre. And what did it mean to you, maybe including the percussion piece, but New Jack Swing?
Well, I say this. Keith helped usher it in, but it wouldn't have been helped ushered in if it wasn't for Teddy. I don't care what anybody say. People can try to take credit and this and that. There was no producer swinging it like Teddy. Teddy Riley was the precipice of every other, from Pharrell to Tim Fife to Red Ed Kingpin, to Eddie F, to everybody going in and switching up their sound and trying to get that thing to I'll Be Sure. Everybody trying to get that swing, that drum swag. For me, it was the groove. Nobody was doing that. And nobody did it better than Guy. No one. I don't care what look, everyone knows me. I wear Guy. You can see invisible Guy tattoos all over me because I put Guy on my back every day. I'm passionate about God because I saw what God did when he brought us together, and I saw the music sustain the members. And I saw that when you literally put your soul into something, no matter how you grow up or whatever little idiosyncrasies you have within yourself, you can still feel, which is why people still feel Guy and still listen to that first album and still feel it like they first heard it before in '88. Because the soul and the innocence of creativity is in that album. So when I see other people talk about New Jack Swing and they say next 112, Keith Sweat, Johnny Kim, God bless his soul, Boys to Men, BBD, and I'm like, what are y'all talking? And don't mention Guy. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Do you not understand? There is no New Jack Swinger out there that y'all think are New Jack Swingers that is compatible to Guy. That's facts. And I fight that with anybody. It doesn't matter. I take it off. Look, I take my glass off when I say it so y'all can see my eyes, bro. There is no group, no person, no singular or plural that is on the level of where Guy is with New Jack Swing. We created the sound. Teddy created the sound. Aaron created the sound. Timmy created the sound. Teddy just flipped it, enhanced it, smack it up, flip it. BBD, love y'all. He smacked it up, flipped it, rubbed it down, and became something that everybody wanted. Teddy is a genius behind that. Aaron's a genius behind the voice. Those two together created something that everybody wanted to be. Facts.
Absolutely, sure.
And when they saw us on stage, then they saw oh, that's Aaron, our little brother. Oh, that's Crazy Legs. Oh, that. Then they saw the energy flipping and moving all around the stage, jumping up on speakers and coming down and going to the drums and coming up to drums. They was like, God dang, what is this? We have never seen this before. Well, that's New Jack Swing to me. New Jack Swing to me is without God, there is no New Jack Swing. Just stop saying it. Stop giving everybody else the credit and the credit. Y'all know better. Y'all know without Guy, y'all shouldn't even say that out your mouth. Y'all know that when we on that stage, we headlining. So if we were secondary to the New Jack, we would be opening up for the people that say they created New Jack. Let's stop the nonsense. I'm serious about mine.
No, absolutely.
That's New Jack to me. New Jack is Aaron, Damion, and Teddy Riley.
Absolutely. And that's what we want to be able to have you on. And I think this new age is sort of allowing us to help set the record straight for the young folks, because talk about being unsung, unrecognized for the potential. But those who were there, we were in New York, we were listening on radios, it went worldwide. It just has continued to be something that even now still gets radio play, still gets much love, and the fans and those that know music know where it came from. But it's up to us to help educate the masses and help get them to that time, because many of them might not have been born at that time, so they may only have heard that's why we love doing these kind of stories. That's why we wanted to reach out, to be able to help set that record straight. Tell us about just some of the great behind the scenes things of being able to be on tour, with your brother, and go into the studio and lay down that second album and things like that. And just sort of the heyday of being with Guy and the kind of people you met and the kind of things you guys got to do.
Well, first of all, everybody that know me know I love Aaron and Teddy to the core of my soul. No matter what ups and downs people saw us go through, separations, Teddy going to Blackstreet, everybody he and she saying stuff because their feelings are hurt and into their feelings and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I tried to disregard all of that because the group and the music is bigger than the emotions of the threesome. And for me, I tried to keep a maturity about it, because if one of us didn't, the legacy would be dead. And all you would be saying is, where are they now? Why are they not doing anything? What's up with Teddy? Why is he not talking to Aaron? Where's Aaron been? Is he still fucking with dogs? Where's Teddy? Oh, he's in Africa? He ain't messing with the Hall brothers no more? All that stuff, I kind of like put to the side, because nobody knows the feelings of who we are together. Like the love silently that we speak without speaking with each other. You know what I'm saying? It's the you cannot mess with Teddy and mess with Aaron and think you're gonna get away with it. That is part of my my soul, my being, my makeup. That's my childhood, that's my young adulthood, and that's my now. And at the end of the day, I hold that true, bro. Like, there's nothing like being on stage with those cats. You can see Teddy with Blackstreet and go, oh, okay, yeah, no diggity, and before I let you go, and this and another, yeah, okay. And then you can see Teddy with Guy. It's a whole different Teddy. He's a whole different person when he's with us. He's happier. He know he grooving, and he know we gonna kill. It's facts. Aaron, when you hear Aaron's voice, and you sit back and you close your eyes or whatever you do, the nostalgia of hearing somebody that brought in a different type of voice, though you heard it in Charlie a little bit, it was a certain twist that Aaron brought to it that gave you a different appreciation of it. When you see me on stage with them, you see a little kid that is super duper energetic, like I just ate sugar, because I'm happy to be with Aaron and Teddy on that stage. It's just fun to me. Like I like performing. It's not the singing. Yes, I could sing. Yes, I love the people that brought Straight to the Point album. If you listen to it now, you realize how amazing that album is and was and is. But that's politics played in that, right? So I don't take things to heart, because I understand the gift that God gave us. I understand that people don't wish you well when they see you doing well. They don't want you to be greater than something they thought they created. Because now we came in and we created Frankenstein. Like, who created Frankenstein with the two things? And every time you press those things on his neck, crazy beats start coming and everybody start moving and hits are made and they go number one. How do you do that? Like, if Guy was released during the time of TikTok, Snapchat, IG, you not know how crazy we would have been? Look at I Like right now being viral for 3.5 months. It was number one, and now it's still number two most viral song I Like for doing the I Like challenge. We have a whole different thing. That's because of Aaron, Teddy, and myself. I love them cats for real. Like, like people think I'm angry, or I feel like I'm not angry about nobody. Listen, everybody got their own talent. Don't be mad at me that I'm super passionate about who I am, what I am, and what group I belong to. I'm super passionate. I don't put nobody above us. And if you are better than us, then just be better.
It's okay.
You don't have to be upset at me. I'm not tripping on you, bro. Like, you got to show the world who you are. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to do anything except be Damion. I don't have to do nothing except support my brother Aaron. I don't have to do nothing except love Teddy. And all the other conversations you hear about who did what, why they did what, this, that, and the other, don't matter to me. The only thing that matter to me, those two cats. The only thing that matter to me that I can forgive. And I can forget what people was trying to disrupt us and move us and separate us so that they won't have the power out there. See, people don't understand this. People go into people's ear so they can disrupt and dismantle greatness, because they're afraid, because they ain't sitting there concocting their new groups and their new artists. And they know, oh, if guys stay around, we not gonna be able to come and explode the way we want to. Because the only thing that hurts Guy is us. It's us. It's not anything else. It's not anything else at all in any capacity. It's us. And as long as we stay loving each other, we'll always come back because Damion is not going to allow the destruction of Guy. Yeah, I want y'all to hear this again. Damion Hall single-handedly is not going to allow whether Teddy, whether Aaron, whether the world, whether other managers, whether other promote. I'm not going to allow it to happen. They know that. I'll fight for it and I'll fight them for it. Facts.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we see this a lot in the industry. Like you said, it takes apart. You've mentioned some of the key singers in the past who've been pulled apart from very strong groups, but it just seems to be the way the industry goes, and it can lead to a lot of challenges. And then you add the business layer, and then add the politics layer, and things can be a tremendous mess. And we've seen that. Were you aware of some of the things that were going down? As a perfect example, you all are on with New Edition, and there's that Superfest situation where things get really physical. And was that something that the group was aware of? I know you all weren't directly involved, but obviously, someone wound up getting killed out of that, and it really sort of put a whole sense of rivalry into oh my gosh, we're losing a life. And we still see some of that today, and we know it's got to end.
Well, we didn't know anything about that. We knew that we were all young. We knew that there was a jealousy because Guy doing the Budweiser Fest ended up doing what we do. You know what I'm saying? And so the members, New Edition and Guy, it was just sad because it separated us for a minute, only because we were young and the people that was running road managers of such and everything, they were manning chest was everybody was, chest out. And yes, we lost someone very dear to Teddy and very dear to us. But again, I chalked that up to people allowing the devil to come in between and youth,
Right.
and people trying to break up the agenda, break up the greatness. It was, Al Heyman gave us opportunity. God bless him. And, life. It's life, man. We lost a life, but we also, in our adulthood, we've learned how to love each other again and create and have this wisdom that was needed for us to continue going on and for us to really forgive each other just for our indirect play on it. Nobody really was trying to do that, but during that time, everything was competition. And so we wanted to be great as well because they were phenomenal. And just to be on a level or in the room with them was beautiful. And I don't think at that time nobody looked at it like that. But for me, it was just like if we can be on your level, let alone try to take the mantle away, then we successful because y'all had it for so long. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I feel now. I don't have no beef against no artist, and everybody know that. And I talk to them in their face about it. But they also know I put Guy first. And unless you can rip us apart, I'm gonna always put Guy first. The day somebody kill us, where people go, get off the stage, y'all suck. We want next, or we want one. If that ever happened, I'm not going on stage. It will never. I'll just quit for real.
Tell us, the show's called Music and Medicine. Tell us about the love that you have for your brother and how you've sort of been that, as I said, constant mentor support to help him, through various types of things. Because it's very difficult, essentially pouring your soul into music and your life into it. And the industry also is so hard, and life, it brings so many ups and downs. We talked about your mom. What types of ways have you been able to sort of be there for him and be that voice and kind of really help him get through a lot of things?
I will always be there for my brother. Am I my brother's keeper? Yeah, to somewhat extent, yes, I am. Um, I will always love him regardless of anything. Uh, Love is deeper than the aggravation you might feel for moments. It might be long moments sometimes, but my love runs deeper because you only got one life. And seriously, you know, I just view things on what if, how would you feel? What if, how would you feel? And so, you know, I am my psychologist. I'm my psychiatrist. I am. God is my core, and I live and die for the happiness of my family, for the happiness of Teddy, for the happiness of other people and their children, for the mental wellness of us as Black men. We need to start speaking to one another, hugging one another, loving one another, um, just opening up to one another. Sometimes we try to be too manly, too testosterone-ish. You know what I'm saying? And instead of saying, dog, I love you and I need some help because I'm mentally upset about I lost a loved one, a girl or my wife or kids or my job, or I'm sick and I didn't know how to express it. I didn't go to the doctor. I didn't do anything. And now I wish I had, because now I put my family in jeopardy. This is mental wellness. And I always say, you change the mindset, you change the outcome. You keep God first and you allow him to speak to you. He will give you the desires of your heart, and he will give you the strength that he created us with to fight off those pathogens and stuff that try to come in and take over our body. We just have to relate to one another, eat right, sleep at night, really water in your system, stop all the nonsense. You know, people say do things in moderation. I say don't do it at all if you can get to that point, because you only have one life, yo, and some people's lives touch many people's lives. Every life is very important, but we must know that, you know, every life has a limitation on it. We just don't know what the limit is. So let us unite in that. Let us fight for that, and let us pray for one another that what God has called you to do on this earth, that you're capable of doing while you're here, so that people may understand who you really are, not who you was trying to be, just for the sake of others.
Absolutely. Amen. I hear you. I hear your father preaching. That tell us on the medical part too about 50 and Fit. I love it. I love that you're still pumping iron, still active with the arts and things like that. Tell us about that program.
Well, 50 and Fit is, people think I did it because it was 50. First, I was like, okay, I'm 50. Look at me. I'm good. I look good. And then I said, it's again, in saying what I just said, is about mental wellness, right? You have to be able to feed your mind first before the body can do anything. Because you can work out and pump and pump and pump and run and calisthenics, but if you are mentally sad, disturbed, your body is going to feel it, and you're not gonna have the proper frame or the proper fit that you really want, because you are not allowing your mind and your body to work in tandem with each other. That is very important. So 50 and Fit is for all ages, but it's really about those that are afraid to understand that at a certain age, we have to change how we eat, how we work out, how we sleep, what we do. We gotta go on walks, we gotta stretch, and you gotta drink water like you're a maniac. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta drink water like crazy. I don't like water, it has no taste. No, it don't. But it you're made up of 95% water. So you put water in your body, it will fight everything that's coming in your body. It will fight it off more than anything. And then you gotta know what to eat and how to eat and all that kind of stuff, right? You know, so you kind of limit the meat, if not at all. Try to take that away. I'm not saying be vegan, whatever, but I'm just saying limitations, because you got to study what you put inside your body, because what you put inside your body might have been created to help you when God created it, but man now tampered with it. So now it's created to bother you. So be very smart, be very cognizant of what you're eating and put into your mouth, and be cognizant of what you say out of your mouth to people, because words touch souls, and words also can scorch souls as well.
Sure. Tell us about some of the projects that you're working on in addition. I know you started doing more acting as well. I know that's always been a passion of yours.
Well, I'm now acting, yes, I did 3 movies last year. One came out, Blinding Lights. I'm doing another one in July, a vampire movie this July. I'm working on my solo album. The Guy Tour is coming in 2023. I got business coming, and the most important thing that I'm doing is I'm trying to teach Black people how to create community, because we don't have not one community in this country at all in any capacity. We have no community. We don't have reparations, but I'm not going to that. That's a whole nother story that probably won't happen, because we see the fight against Black and against brown or whatever. We see that fight. I won't go into that. But for me, it's about building Black community, bringing us together for real, and fighting the fight against us so that we can win at least the majority of the war. It's very important to let them know that we are not playing. We are here. We are powerful. No, we are powerful, and we can be as great as we want to be.
Absolutely. The show's called Music and Medicine. Your life has been so emblematic of that, being the mediator, the intercessor, always bringing the group together, bringing people together, helping out the young people I know with your DJ project. Tell us what it means to you when you hear those words, music and medicine.
Well, music is medicine. So when I hear those two words, they're one word to me. You can put on a song, and all of a sudden it'll make you feel a certain way. You get some pep in your step, and you start allowing yourself. You're like, yeah, that's what I needed. It allows you to remember and to think upon the time when you were down, and you didn't think everything was going right. You had your first child, you found your first love, when you got your first job, when you lost someone and thought that your life was over, but then you heard that song and it said, there's a better one coming, right? And you found someone new that really understood you for you, and that was made and created specifically for you. I believe that everybody has a person out there that is made specifically for them, and music and medicine, bam, does that. They made for each other.
Absolutely. No, I love it. I love the sharing and the wisdom that you pour out, not only in your heart and your passion, not only for the group and your brother and Teddy, as well as Timmy, but just also to the community, because like you said, we can't help but continue to try to make that stronger. And I feel like those who've been there and been at the top and have seen, and then continue to strive and be sort of the workhorses that mentor our young people, are definitely to be admired. So we so appreciate you taking time and just feeling comfortable reaching back. And we just continue to, like I said, look forward to the tour. Everybody has anticipated this for such a long time. We thank you, we thank you, we thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your listeners. I appreciate you. God bless you, brother. Listen, for everybody that don't follow me on IG, Damion Hall, Damion, Hall_guides, Damion Hall on Facebook. And just watch out. Hall of Fame Entertainment is here. It ain't going nowhere, the whole way or no way. And get ready for the D-Hole experience. It's here. I love y'all. 50 and Fit. Go out there. Walk, drink, work out. I don't care what you do. Get up. Don't sit down. Don't lay down, and don't waste your time. All right? Because time gonna go on without you. So let's use it wisely. Let's use it for our benefit, and let's touch someone. Each one touch one. And let's pray for each other each and every day, because the agenda's against us, but God is for us. I love y'all.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better. Thank you so much for being willing to reach out and inspire us really with not only your story, but your message. I mean, it's very, very clear you've got your purpose to find, and you continue to pour out love. And yes, we'll continue to plug and promote. And I hope we can keep the door open to come back as some of your projects continue to roll out and stay in touch, because it's just such a wonderful blessing to me. Another brother from New York. Brooklyn at that. It was just keeping it real, keeping it 100, but also being very honest and sincere with your heart and your hands. So I thank you so much. Thanks again.
God bless you, sir.
And shout out, of course, to Chris Bridges for putting us in touch. And thanks again for being willing to fit us into your busy schedule. I appreciate it.